Hola, ¿qué tal amigos? Buenos días, buenas tardes y buenas noches. No importa la hora que sea, siempre es un gran momento para aprender español con Profesor Pablo. Gracias a todos por estar aquí otra vez. Queremos seguir aprendiendo, practicando español para poder hablar mejor. La lección de hoy, how do we get from the present tense to the present subjunctive? Yes, we've gone over this, but just like a jet gets pulled in after so many hours on the engine, they have to pull the jet in, check everything on the engine to make sure it's running properly. So in a like fashion, we want to go over the present tense, yo form, and take it into the present subjunctive opposite vowel, verb number 8 form to keep our skills at a very high level. So, to get to verb number 8, the present subjunctive, we have to take the yo-o form of verb number 3, the present tense. Now the yo-o form, once you get it in the present tense, you're going to change it to the opposite vowel. Opposite vowel for AR verbs is E, and opposite vowel for ER and IR verbs is the letter A. But there are some irregular verbs that don't end in O in the present tense. Very few. We have 6. Soy, voy, estoy, doy, say, and a, he, from the helping verb, the auxiliary verb haber. They are sea, vaya, esté, de, sepa, and haya. Haya, how you doing? De has an accent mark on the E to distinguish it from the preposition of or from. So, we have all of our quirky changes that happen in the present tense. Let's take a look at them and see if we can get the yo form for each. We know for regular AR verbs in the present tense, the endings are o, as, a, amos, an. Take a verb like hablar. Hablo, hablas, habla, hablamos, hablan. Let's go with comer. Como, comes, come, comemos, comen. O, es, a, hemos, en. How about an IR verb? Vivir, to live. Vivo, vives, vive, vivimos, viven. We know the regular verb endings for the present tense. Very, very simple. But let's get the yo form of the go verbs. And when we have go verbs, the go only happens in the yo form. This would be to do or to make, to come, to leave, to say or to tell, and to bring. So this would be hago, vengo, salgo, digo, and traigo. Let's go with the ZC. The ZC change only happens in the yo form. Conocer, I know, conozco. Traducir, I translate, traduzco. Conducir, I drive, conduzco. Merecer, I deserve, merezco. And obedecer, I obey, obedezco. Let's go over here. G to J. When does the G to J happen? Right? Happens only in the yo form. Recoger, to pick up, recojo with a J-O. We have to change the G to a J to maintain the integrity of the soft G sound. Remember, when G is followed with an E or an I, then it's going to have the soft G sound. If it's followed with a U or an A or an O, it's going to have the hard G sound. So we want the soft sound, so we have to go with the J. Recojo, escoger, to choose, escojo, J-O. Coger, to grab, cojo. Corregir is to correct, corrijo with a J-O. Good. Let's go down here, E to I-E. This is going to happen in all but nosotros. So the yo form is going to stem change. I close would be cierro. I understand, entiendo. I lie, miento. I lose, pierdo. And I start, empiezo. Good. Well, it's going to change in all but nosotros. Let's go with the yo form. Cuesto, I cost. Lluevo, I rain. We don't say I rain, but we use lluevo to get to llueva, which is the subjunctive. What do you do on the 4th of July? Llueva flag. Llueva. Do you get that? Recordar, I remember. Recuerdo. Okay? Now, the E to I, right? The stem change here. Here we go. Pido, P-I-D-O. I repeat, repito. I follow, S-I-G-O. We don't have a U because they put the U here to keep the hard sounding G. Say, gear. If we didn't have a U there, it would be a soft G sound. Seguir. Don't go anywhere. Seguir. But it's seguir. So the yo-o present tense is sigo. S-I-G-O. Reírse would be me río, accent on the I to break up the diphthong. Okay, so we did the yo-o form of all of these. Now let's go take that yo-o form that we just did. Let's put it in the opposite vowel present subjunctive. Remember, opposite vowel for AR verbs is E, opposite vowel for ER and IR verbs is A. So this would be haga, venga, salga, diga, and traiga. Here, this would be conozca, traduzca, conduzca, merezca, and obedezca. How about the G to J? This would be recoja with a J-A, escoja, coja, and corrija, J-A. E to I-E, okay, the yo form would be cierre, entienda, mienta, pierda, and empiece with a CE. Remember, you have to change Z to C in front of an I or an E, right? Okay, here we go. Costar, this would be cueste, llover, llueva, duerma, and recuerde. E to I, pida, repita, siga, S-I-G-A, and me ria. So now we've done all the stem changing, all the crazy things that happen in the present tense. We found the yo-o form, right? And now we put the opposite vowel ending on the end after we took off the O. So that's a simple way to go. Now over here is just a little summary. Go verbs, ZC verbs, and G to J. When does that happen in the present tense? It only happens in the yo form. How about the present subjunctive? What about the go, the ZC, the G to J? Where does that show up? In all forms. It shows up in all forms. For example, haga, hagas, haga, hagamos, hagan. Nothing left, hagan. How about here? Recoja, recojas, recoja, recojamos, recojan. How about the stem changing? Okay, when does stem changing? Well, the E to IE and the O to UE change in all but nosotros. So let's take this one. No, not llover. How about recordar? Recuerde, recuerdes, recuerde, recordemos, doesn't stem change in the we, and recuerden, right? It doesn't change in the we, all but nosotros. But the E to I, look at this. The E to I changes always in all forms. So this would be pida, pidas, pida, pidamos, pidan. Here, siga, 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 sigamos, sigan. Okay? If all the water in the oceans evaporated, what would you say? Sigan. Do you get it? Okay, here we are. We're going from the present yo form ending in O and putting it into the opposite vowel to get to verb number 8. Remember, present tense is great. It's like hitting a single, right? Present subjunctive is like hitting a home run. When you can use the present subjunctive correctly, that is always extremely impressive. Now, after this, we're going to practice going from the preterite ellos form to the past subjunctive. And then we're going to be doing some practice with present subjunctive and past subjunctive. We just wanted to go back and reflex those muscles. We want to get those skills right where they should be for present subjunctive and past subjunctive. ¿Ok? Gracias por todo. Hasta la próxima lección. Tengan un gran día. Los quiero mucho. Los quiero con todo el corazón. Sean buenos, cuídense y tomen su agua. Bye bye.